I think to have seen the way it's evolved since I first started and what we have tried to do with legislation and so forth, uh, that's what kind of keeps me involved. And as we've talked about, the increase in social media. I'm not always a fan of social media, kind of the dark side. I think that we certainly have gotten our face in front of people with social media. Megan, as I've gotten older, I have seen sometimes people have to kind of get themselves into a different mode. You're not actively working anymore, which I did for almost 60 years. But so you have time, not a lot of time, but you have connections and you see other people. If you would just be a little bit kinder to that neighbor or that person that you see at the grocery store that may not have the same abilities that you do. And if everybody would do that, everybody would recognize that all that person needs, sometimes it's just a kind word. Sometimes it's a bottle of water. Sometimes it's letting them know there are services that you can go get. So I think we all have to be aware of that, but we kind of have to get that word out.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're doing on social media. We're getting that word out. But people themselves in their everyday lives have to do something, have to be compassionate. Somebody help them somewhere along the line. It's
Absolutely.
time to pay it forward. Gone through life that they didn't have somebody at some point came to their rescue.
Totally. Absolutely.
To then give a hand up. So we have to pay it forward.
Absolutely.
I've seen that even within that community, we had to move to a larger location. We have interacted with motor vehicle division that provides the IDs. So now we have kiosks in our office downtown, so that people can apply directly to get that ID and get a temporary one when they leave there. It's had to evolve, but it has, and everybody has stepped up to the plate. You can't do anything. You can't get a job. You can't apply for a job. You can't apply for housing. You can't get any kind of benefits, any kind of health care at all if you don't have an ID and you suddenly find yourself. And most people think of, somebody that has been like this for years. But as you know, what we've seen recently is women and children, victims of domestic violence, or people that have been moved out of their homes, evicted from their homes, and they suddenly find themselves unable to do anything else. And maybe that person that was not wonderful to them has kept all of their identification, all their papers and so forth. Now they're stuck. And they may be stuck with children, which is even worse. So I think that's what I see is we are the only organization that I'm aware of, not just here, but in the country, that has this service to provide you with an ID. I know that as we see the homeless community, it's still out on the streets. There are still people who need help. So I don't think we're ever going to run out of a job to do. I mean, I wish we would, and that is our ultimate goal. We want to end homelessness. And I think, as we all say, let's do that one ID at a time.